Love without boundaries will always lead to burnout. The healthiest relationships are between two whole people and not two halves trying to complete each other. In this episode of Mindscale, I want to talk to you about how not to lose yourself in a relationship. Singles, dating, and married, join me. Hi there, welcome once again to Mindscale, your favorite podcast where I talk about all things personal development and business strategy. Before we begin, I want to kindly remind you to click on the subscribe button and turn on post notification in case you are yet to do so. This will ensure that you'll be the very first person to know when next I drop another life-changing episode of Mindscale. Today, without further ado, I want to talk about something that I think is one of the biggest issues that has plagued the dating pool for a while. It's the problem of people getting into relationships and in a bid to please and appeal to their partners, they tend to lose themselves. And so I want to teach you how to keep boundaries in relationships and how to build healthy ones at that, in a way where you don't lose yourself and you don't forgo your identity on the grounds of love. The very first thing you must know is that boundaries protect love. Boundaries protect love. You get into a relationship not to lose your identity, but to become a better person while loving another person who you are trying to push to become a better version of that person's self. Now, I said this because many times when we get into relationships, we just forgo our boundaries, let our guards down, and it's almost as though we don't have any opinions anymore. Maybe because you are trying so hard to keep the person in love with you, trying so hard to make sure you don't lose it, trying so hard to make sure that you don't drop the ball in a way that the person will think you're not trying enough or you don't love them much enough, blah, 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 blah. But listen, boundaries protect love. You must set boundaries. Now, boundaries are not rejection. Boundaries are respect. Boundaries are what make your love sustainable. When you get into a relationship or even a marriage, you don't stop having negotiables and non-negotiables. You don't stop having do's and don'ts. You don't stop having things that are your pet peeves. And on the other hand, things that you like and love. No, you don't stop. Instead, at best, you can make compromises for the sake of the bigger goal of the relationship, but you must not lose yourself. Neither should you forgo your identity. Don't be the type of person that everyone knew to be blunt and bold in her vision or in his goals in life and get into a relationship and all of a sudden I've now become a shadow of the person's self. So don't be that type of person and ensure that you set your boundaries. The next thing I want to tell you is the fact that setting boundaries are not going to be possible until you are self-aware. We're in a world where self-awareness is actually very scarce. So boundaries begin by first knowing yourself, knowing who you are, knowing your journey, and being immersed in your process, knowing exactly how you think, what you think about, even knowing your weaknesses and your strengths and what needs to improve. Now, when you're self-aware, then can you try to do better? Then can you try to regulate yourself? So self-awareness is where it all begins, and it's self-awareness that even helps you prevent emotional dependency. So that way you don't think that your wholeness is found in someone else. You don't think that until the person is pleased, you can't be pleased. You must know yourself. And you must build that esteem. This is important. So you must develop a solid self-esteem, which will actually only be possible after self-awareness. Because I've seen so many people confuse people pleasing for love. And that's not it. So you think and you feel like until I make them happy before I can be happy in the relationship. But that's not how it works. And so be self-aware. Know yourself. Know yourself. Another thing I want you to learn is that you must learn independence. Independence also stems from your identity. Because, for example, you can't maintain intimacy if you keep sacrificing authenticity. Stop trying to be somebody else. Stop trying to be the type of person that your spouse will keep on loving, and in the midst of it, then losing yourself. No, don't do that. There was actually a study. It's an APA study, an American Psychological Association study in 2021 that actually found out that relationships with clearer boundaries have 40% higher satisfaction rate. Have boundaries. In fact, the person you're in a relationship with will end up loving you for your boundaries. I, for one, can tell you this. One of the reasons I love my wife even more is because she's her own person and it piques my interest. I love it. I love it when people have their own identity, and to a given extent, yes, we can depend on each other for a couple of things, but it's also an independence where you don't really need me to breathe. You don't really need me to have a good day, but me being there makes your day even better. Those are two different things, and so that works. This is a very short episode, but I really do hope that it helps you. It helps you understand that real love thrives in freedom and not in fear. It thrives in freedom and not in fear. This idea of dependency will actually end up killing connection, because some people will end up becoming in bondages that they call love or bondages that they call relationship. And so this is the video that helps you come out of your cage. Stop losing yourself in your relationships. You are you. You are awesome, amazing, great. I'm not saying you shouldn't improve on yourself. Improve on yourself where need be. But then don't lose your identity just because you are trying to be the best partner. I hope this helps you. Remember the popular saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. So fill yourself first. Before, nurture yourself. Ensure that you keep filling your mind, your body, your spirit, and your soul with the very best that you can. Only then can you actually be the best partner. So you don't have to shrink to be loved. If you have to shrink to be loved, that's not love. That's self-abandonment disguised as affection. I hope this video leads to your emancipation. Thank you for watching this episode of Mindscale, and do not forget to like this video if it resonates with you. Let me also know in the comments if this has been helpful, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and turn on post notification so you'll be the very first person to know when next I drop another life transforming episode of Mindscale. Till the next one, toodles, right? That's a greeting. Toodles. Bye everyone.